Malawi, Zambia. These are nations that have never experienced military intervention, unlike other countries, because it's a failure, leadership failure, that always prompted a military intervention in most African countries. But these countries have maintained their democratic ethos or principles. And I think with time, Africans will mature enough to produce. Nigeria is about to elect a new leadership next year, February. It behoves the nation, the people, to make sure that good leadership is enthroned by the people of the country. We are sick and tired of mediocrity, mediocre leadership in Nigeria. So we are hoping that by February next year, Nigerians are wiser now. They have tested many leaderships in the country, and most of them have failed the nation. So we have yet another opportunity for the country to elect a true leadership for the nation. Leadership that will give you hope, give Nigeria competency and integrity. Let me stop so far.
All right, thank you so much. What's on now? It's been established that there is actually a leadership deficit in Africa. Now, from your own opinion, what do you think the causes or the factors that have triggered this deficit or this failure on the part of the leaders?
Well, I wouldn't blame the leaders, neither the followers, but I blame all the citizens for not knowing what to do, or how to do it, and when to do it. Now, at the part of the leaders, they employed a lot of hooliganism in governance, and that is what is the problem. They believe that once you have won the election, you are God. Nobody talks to you, nobody suggests to you. You do things just the way you like. And if somebody dares said otherwise, you employ either the military, the police, or even the citizens themselves to fight for you. At the end of the day, you claim the power that does not belong to you. And when that happens, you turn to be a god among the people. Now, if the governance, if the people in government knows that they cannot be there without the people, if they knows that the main purpose of their coming there is to take care of the people, as they want the other people to take care of them, the system will be okay. Now, even in the local systems, like the Igbo land where we have our own system and village system, you find out that some people in the village, that even the chairman of the villages, has even gone beyond what even the presidency cannot do. They are doing it. Some of them will so much intimidate the elders. Some communities, those leaders use cane, mobilize youth to be flogging the elders that dares to talk. Like in my locality, there was a time they were using cane on the elders. If you elder object them, some of them, they will even take them to Abuja to go and log, because they sold the community properties and had money. So in doing that, they make the elders to keep quiet. Of course, they will not want to talk again. Those kind of frustrations. So everybody kept quiet for them to be doing whatever they need. Now, this is a person that doesn't have that much military power, but he engaged the youth in the society and he turned them to be military for him. How much more the person that knows that he has all the powers in the country? But if he doesn't understand that wherever you are there because of the people, then you play anyhow game and frustrate the people. Again, even the people that is so much oppressed during the election, once they are given cups of rice, give them maybe a note of 1,000. They forgot what has happened in the past, that they are supposed to move on, stand their grounds to change. So you see, the sorting is not like one-sided. Everybody is to be blamed. But I thank God for what is happening these days, for the election of 2023 that is coming. It seems that the people has moved out to say, we are tired. We want a possible change to make sure things works out. So if by the special grace of God, if come by February, all the situation we are having, that things are happening now, if they can bring it together and say, yes, we stood our ground, and this is what we want, by the special grace of God, we will start having that will translate to the other generations to come.
Okay, thank you so much. And so let's come back to you. You know, one would think that Africa being blessed with a lot of natural resources, that now we shouldn't be, talking about leadership failures and all that. Some people will say that it seems some of our leaders need to go abroad for training before they assume office as leaders in various offices. But then again, the people, the citizens, the governed, how do we actually contribute to the failure of these leaders? Because I know that as citizens of a nation, we are supposed to hold our leaders accountable, whenever they are, about to do something. They said, especially in their manifestos, they say they are going to do such thing. They tell you, they promise you that they are going to build a road, they are going to do this, and they are going to do that. And at the end of the day, you notice that they are not doing all those things that they have promised you. Now, as the citizens, as the governed, how do we hold leaders accountable when it comes to them fulfilling their promises to us?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me go back to what I said earlier about the people being docile. When you have a society that's docile, they don't know their rights, they keep on wallowing in ignorance. The democratic norms were imported from Western countries to us. We weren't practicing democratic principles until the colonialists came. So, the standard they set for us, that elections, you have periodic elections. It happens everywhere in civilized world, periodic elections, where the people are required to assess the government, the government in power, and to see if they have performed very well. If they have not performed very well, they are kicked out through the democratic vote, their vote. So it's unfortunate in some African countries. This is a democratic ethos or democratic principle. They have not been able to abide by that. Let me cite examples like countries like Cameroon, Gabon, which other country? The presidents and Uganda. The presidents there have stayed up to 40 years, 30-something years. You see? Dominating the whole country. They refuse to vacate. They refuse to go so that other people will be tried. It's unthinkable. So the democratic norm allows the people that opportunity periodically to assess their leadership. If the current leadership is not performing, an opportunity will come like it's coming in February in Nigeria, where the people, we are in a terrible mess in this country. Hunger, insecurity, name it. So it behoves on Nigerians to assess the current government, whether they have been able to provide them with all the necessities of life, protection of life and property. Otherwise, they have an opportunity to make a choice. So the bottom line is the people. The power belongs to the people. The bottom line is the people themselves. If you think that you are okay, that the present situation suits you very well, you go on with it. But if you say no, enough is enough, then the ballot box is there for you to make your choice. And if the leadership is found wanting, you kick them out and bring in another one. That's the sense of democracy. Democratic principle is very, very very, very vital in our development, very critical in our development. So the African nations, not only in Nigeria, they should imbibe that principle of democracy, democratic norms, looking at assessing leaders. If they are doing well, you return them back. For instance, in the United States of America, or even in Britain, you have people who have been in Congress or United Kingdom Parliament for up to 30, 35 years. Non-stop, because of their performance, because of their quality, leadership qualities. But here in Africa...
But here it's not because of the performance.
No, it's not because of performance. It is because of turn by turn.
Yeah.
You've had your own turn, let me come in and chop by chop, which is unfortunate, and which is retarding the progress of Nigeria and Africa generally.
Okay, just like you said, that it's all about democratic principle applying it. Now, in a country like ours, yeah, of course we say that we are practicing democracy. I want to ask you, are we really practicing democracy in this country? And the principles, applying it to, hold our leaders accountable, do you think is something that we can achieve as citizens?
The practice is natural with us, especially in the Southeast here. Before the advent of the modern democracy, the Igbo system is a democratic system where we have Zenozos, we have the family meetings, we have the village meetings, we have the town union, we have the local government and the tribal meetings. Those are democratic principles. So the thing is, it is in our system, but the truth is that when the so-called modern democracy came, it becomes a money democracy. It becomes a democracy of lobbying that is not given the people. When you say you are going to train them abroad, which abroad are you training them? You have to train their conscience to understand that you are here for this reason. Even if you like, go and train them in the moon. As much as the system is, the conscience is not tuned to understand that. And the conscience has not been able to prick them to understand. You can't take the commonwealth of people and hide it somewhere. Just for the fact that they said they are going to change the color of the naira. We start seeing where people are heaping money, even some of them that have gotten rotten. So it's a thing of conscience. And if we employ our traditional principles and our traditional norms, it helps us to understand where we're going to. You cannot imbibe the white man's system and think it will work in Africa. No. Some of them will tell you grace covers you. Which grace covers you? You see you are doing something that's wrong. And you're telling me because you've gone to church and grace covers you. Which grace told you to go and be committing crime and be hiding and saying me grace? But they know if they employ our African tradition, they'll be afraid, knowing that something will happen to them. So the truth is understanding the principles of your people. The tradition of our people, if our democracy is those African-based democracy, you see people will be afraid and do the correct things.
Explain the African-based democracy.
Yes, there is.
That's what I explain it a little bit so that we have an understanding of what you're saying.
From the beginning, that our people, our fathers, we are practicing democracy in their activities. In those times, they will come to town hall or where they gather for their meetings. They employ the system of four. You know, the church told us of four is alus. It's not. Those are the system of relationship and where they put their trust. And they say, if you do this, I will never tell the lie. They will present the offer and say, this offer, deal with me if I tell lies. You understand? So, and in doing this is our system of life that has helped our people. We're all Christians, I understand. I'm a Christian too. But there are things that is done with Christians these days that you start asking them, you are talking about bread of God? And you brought the money. The money is not used for the people. And you're expecting government, who is not even church, for the people. And you're expecting government, who is not even church. Now, you can understand the Bible principle. Enshrine it in the. That is why you have social security. That any pregnant woman child will take it. Even your mother will be paid for taking care of you till you start going to school to work. And here today, somebody will tell you you pay tax for healthcare. There's hospital. There's no maintenance. If church says start talking to me to be this church is a hospital school for them, and the Lord said come and contribute money. Those that has money will contribute. Those that don't have money will come and carry blocks and sand. When the schools are built, you cannot. So you see all these things. We cannot mix these things, white man's culture and our own culture and take it to work. If we actually want to join the white man culture, we better tune our spirit and our conscience to work like their own. If we want to follow their system, we must prepare our mind to say, this word, Jesus, but dragging the one in with the system is the democratic principles. Let us employ our African system of democracy. It will work. This time now, the people has the power. The power belongs to the people, after God. And now somebody will hijack it and they tell you, after I give him money to vote for me. So you have sold your own rights to him. So why are you asking him questions?
Okay. I beg to a colleague on the concept of African democracy.
It's
a Korea concept. You recall that in those days, before the advent of the white colonial, you have people you call warrant chiefs. It's by selection, even elders community. You select them to represent, not through election, which is not a and there were a lot of atrocities in the past during this era. Atrocities. People are being sold. We are being sold to slavery because you have nobody to defend you. Yes, let me come. So people, a lot of atrocities. Call them. If a woman to twins, the twins are being killed. So these are some of the things. So democracy is a welcome. It's saying is that the principle as obtained civilized country should be in Africa. In Bible, we haven't. We're evolving. Africa is a yes, but with time, I think we're going to that as an example. True democratic democracy is working. Africa like Rwanda, the civilized have always pick them up in Africa. There are some other countries that are models. Let us take a time, like I continue to say, leadership is the. If we provide the right leadership to develop, we don't we are now seeing leaders in Nigeria campaigning. By now, people are making up their mind who will provide, who is going to correct the use of the. We have them. We have them now. Leadership is the bane of Africa. Leadership problem. So the sooner we correct it, the better for the continent will develop more resources and natural can sustain African countries.
All right.
So I will have to also help you.
Quickly, we are not actually doing debate here.
No, we're not debating.
Okay.
Debate. We are trying to get these things correct. We're talking about people involved in chief. It was introduced to them
The elder.
Zenozo and the elders are
yes, that is true.
white man come. You cannot tell me if you talk when the white man came, they brought they empowered a particular group of people and used them to oppress the people.
To practice democracy, we should go back to the old ways. Our
Not the chieftaincy type. The chieftaincy type.
Okay, to the Zenozo kind of type.
Where people will
and
come.
now, for us,
talking about the era of
the power belongs to the people. The people, you give them opportunity.
Before the white man expand on it. The whole thing is that we should be able to understand our history and our culture. We not everything is the white man.
So, what was?
Who has prepared himself for that? When the white man came, the warrant chief, paramount chief, and those, and now is best. When the white man was going, they didn't have, as we know. They imposed people on us and give them power behind the white man.
Okay, and let's not dwell so much on that. Let's not come back. We interviewed some people on the street concerning the topic discussing today. So let's hear what they say.
It is possible to make it citizens. It is very welcome. Then, once the people continue, not held based on the situation leadership we are facing in this nation today. So that very one is our nation. In Africa, especially in Nigeria, we are facing should I say the in leadership. Economy radical thing, and the economy is affecting living there. So the thing there is that one thing, I think it will be more so that you do all the thing down that thing you can do away. Something that it doesn't. Then you give them even the second tenor, they achieve. The person that can achieve something, the person can do it better. So that if there is any other area for the person to serve or do it,
you are done. We look at input once it's not satisfactory. The person don't need to continue to be there until to withdraw. A term when we give you 4 years to try. If we look into years, if it's not impressive, then follow the law process and give him that one.
The way I is oppose themselves because they are not ruling themselves. They are ruling. They are representing us. So they should throw it open to the public for public to take a decision because they are not the one that decided how many years they were staying before to office. That is the way I look at it. That it would have been much better for us in that way. That before you contest election, you must be 2 years to give you ticket, and you cannot jump into another party else to represent them. So before you contest on any election, you must be a member of the party for
about 20 years. They already on it. So they cannot say that it's already in their hands. What I'm saying now to stop them going 12 years or 16 years or 20 years. If there is any way they can caution them or to bring it in constitution, where they go and they only 2 tenors.
To the show. Remember, we are still talking about leadership deficit in Africa. Who are we going to blame for that? And of course, you heard what the people have to say. A lot of people, we are focusing on the number of years our leaders stay in power. Just like you mentioned in the United States of America, that you have people for 35 years just because they are spectacular in their work. Then in Africa, we know is because. Anyway, let me not go there. But then again, do you also believe that we need to curtail the number of years that stay on a particular as a leader in any capacity, be it the president, the governor, or House of or Senate?
No. Let me say straight away that one of the problems in our democracy is that governance. The moment you make governance to be less attractive, then you won't have this mad rush for people to go into politics. I recall in the 60s, when Dr. Azikiwe was premier of Baradem, NCNC as the leading party then. I was a young man then. NCNC as the leading will come to you. The leadership will come to you. Request you to come. You will say, oh, I don't have money. The party will say, no, you don't bother. Going to because the party will discover that you are a good material, that you to the people. In that time, you move from your house to in Enugu. Nobody. You only they paid token allowances for attending around. You have people in Abuja. They provide them with accommodation, furniture, wardrobe. This is what is costing the leaves whatever. A trader will sell up his wares in the market and jump into politics. The moment we make politics less attractive, the number of years doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's performance. The 4 years term, that's where people kill others to acquire power, which is unfortunate. And that is the bane of Nigerian politics. So we have to reduce design. People are saying reducing the cost. When you want employment, personal employment, people acquiring wealth, acquiring houses, jets, the people are well powerful. So I think the issue of number of years is relevant in this discussion. It's okay for us. You see, the important thing is choose the right leader, people and choose good leadership.
Sometimes it's even funny that those people that we think are the right
us
people
in the first term. You kick them out. That's why a periodic election is very important.
Easy to kick them out when we talk about money politics. Let me come to you, Godso, that we are asking who. We also blame the high cost of electioneering, all the things that go on. Because a lot of a whole lot of money, giving money to people back the money.
Because it is very attractive. What they are gunning for is...
That is about practicing the African system. The white man system has not allowed them. We have to talk to our conscience. It has not allowed them to be amassing wealth from the community. And that is why when somebody do one small corruption, they start the person. China will even kill you.
Of course.
For doing that. Now, why do we have to go and spend too much money for election on a particular person that have come before, and you say you want to try him again? Then you spend how much INEC have budgeted for the election now? And now, ASU has not been paid. Why do we have to use this multiple amount of money to re-elect somebody? Why not give him either 5 years? Go one term. If you do well, good. If you don't do well, next time you are gone forever. Now you start going to bring all this amount of money. You have not sponsored your education well. You have not sponsored your security. And you are sponsoring somebody to go and try again. Let's go and give him a chance. What's chance? Why do we have to give that chance? We use the money for the election for the person for 2 times. We use it to sponsor our education. We use the money to maintain our roads. Why do we have to go and do that? And moreover, the government is spending money for election. The individuals are spending money. Buying votes, buying people, buying this, buying hooligans to go and fight for you. And we need things that are very important to build our nation. We are not spending money on them. How can somebody tell you they are using over 300 billion to conduct the election for somebody? And the ASU that is supposed to build our future, we have not sponsored them. 1 term is okay. We can move it from 4 to 5 or even 6. No problem. But let the expenses be for once. If you go there and do well, good. If you don't do well, that's your problem. You go and settle it with your God and your community. The truth about these things is, we are talking about the white man. They can do the election for one person 10 times. It doesn't matter because they contain whatever they do. You talk about the legislatures. The legislatures are supposed to stay as long as they can, so far as they are producing. It's the executive that had terms. I remember Jibril Amin. He was in Senate forever till he died. So the legislatures are not giving term. As long as they are doing well and their zones or their constituency says he is representing us, let him be going and make the law. When we are talking about the executive that is spending money for the people. So what I'm saying is, we are blaming the people. We are blaming even our constitution because those things are supposed to be touched. They are where we are supposed to spend our money that will help us for future. And instead of spending money for one person's election, you spent money in 2015 for President Buhari. You spend another money for 2019 for the same President Buhari. And things are not changing for good. Why do we have to continue spending that money? Why not give the person 1 term? When you know you are going for 1 time, start from the one, speed up. From the one you enter there, speed up. Before you even enter, you are supposed to have selected your ministers or your commissioners. The day you take office, highest 1 week, you have appointed everybody. Give the person terms of reference. Go. Give them mandate to go and perform. You can't tell me you are in the ministry and the government will be sponsoring you. The ministry are not making any money. And you are telling me the government is going. How can it work?
This single term people are advocating for, single term, 4 years you go, solve the problem. Because if I'm corrupt by nature, and I don't have 1 term, 5 years to stay in, I make all my money. So the bottom line is reducing the cost of governance, making once you make the office less attractive, like that you have a security vote as well, to make it less attractive.
Who will make
People
it,
who have already
who will make it less attractive? Because we are still thinking about, they are still there.
That's what I'm saying. See, my friend has mentioned, the Constitution has a in this matter. if the Constitution, if an entirely bright Constitution, not amendment.
I understand what you're saying. Yes. The thing is, these leaders that would they want to amend the Constitution? Because they are the ones benefiting.
The circle then remain a vicious circle. We make up our mind quality leadership, what are to develop, look inward. We sit down and look inward and say, we have tried this method years, it hasn't worked for us. Let us try. Like I said, people, it depends on what they really want. If they want to remain docile, let them remain docile, but they to demand for that change. So, governance in Nigeria, I think Nigeria is the worst. We are talking about legislator. You say they just and go on and go. People are now fighting House of Rep, House of Senate. A lot of, so if you go there and say, oh, my friend, it's tough. That's what happened. What is happening now? They go out because a lot of money. There's no money. People will just go and mind their business. In America, in civilized countries, people who are paid go into politics. They have no need for your, like Trump in America, he went into president. But here you are hungry with a view of recruitment. When they get there, they recoup and make gains.
All right.
I am still talking about the democracy is left for us. They left us democracy. They left power belonging to one person to take advantage of. That is this. They started it with us. They will plant somebody and they will be using the person.
In Africa,
so
gave us good leadership. Nelson Mandela he wasn't interested in money.
Our African system of democracy.
There are models, good models in Africa.
Okay.
One of models, I will ask you to point one of the models.
I say
Mandela started fighting for independence.
yes.
And he knew why he was fighting for independence. And when he came out, it was done on everybody. And before then, remember, he's got old. He decided to say, okay, this is the benefit of what I have done for. Let me rest, because no strength again. He used strength when he was young to fight for independence.
But saying, you know, if he had still been a young man, that maybe he.
If you have strength, you will continue.
There are people who are in their 80s, 90s, still in power.
It's
When
okay.
you are talking about this democracy,
What's it propelling them? Is
the
avarice.
white man, what they dropped for us here. They will divide and rule. And they continue with it today.
Okay. Let's not dwell so much on that. Quickly, I know that the bad leadership or deficit in leadership has cost us a whole lot. We have poverty, we have insecurity, we have, in fact, in all sectors. Now, the question is the political parties. Because things are on that you see in a particular party, and when he says it's not going to favor him or he's not going to get the post driver, he jumps into, and they are giving him tickets to go, vie for the post. So, are we still going to do that too?
Yes. I'm scared of people. People own the political parties. People own the government. People own leadership. If they are bed, they will lie on it. So, if enough is enough, you can't jump from one party to one party. In the 60s, they're not making progress. In the 60s, if their party would dictate the kind of constitution they want, they have to demand for a constitution that protects their interest. Otherwise, we keep on going around, vicious circle, ad infinitum.
All right.
Now,
Well, just quickly, because we are rounding off.
When the two-party system Babangida introduced was going to be a very good one. That is something in America. You find Democrats,
You have other parties, smaller
there are
parties.
some small parties
Yes,
that are controlling
yes.
the
Not by
Okay,
fear.
okay.
Now, I will tell you,
Not by
if
fear.
we have a two-party system, it would have been the best way for us. Because why? At that point, people were not much aware of politics. So if you belong to Republicans, the National Republican Convention, you remain there and have those as a mandate.
SDP, Social Democratic
have
Party.
remained there, you
SDP.
have their principles and continue with it. But the truth here today is some people jump from the party to the other party because of the same corruption. When Peter B left PDP and joined the Labour Party, if he was in PDP, they would not have given him the space.
Okay.
It's because of the kind of democracy that is given to us.
All right.
So I believe if we're doing something, whatever we want to do, we must start talking about our conscience and talking about our local principles. That will help us.
All right.
The people.
Well, on that note, we are going to say a very big thank you to both of you for coming here today. Nze Nwabeze Akabogo, thank you so much for being part of the show. Onye Nonubo, the second. I'll be the third.
Pleasure.
The third. All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
And also God's own Onyeka Ubieze, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Well, that's it on the show this morning. Thank you so much for being part of it. My name is Chidima Oranwa. See you again tomorrow. Bye.